Hello and welcome to this new episode of this series on my YouTube channel. Today I am going to show you what I have done so far. If you're someone who have just catch up my YouTube channel, I will tell you that my name is Andres Lasso, and what I usually do is Minecraft buildings, whose inspiration is provided by real-life historical buildings. For example, what you're seeing right now is my personal attempt of building the Royal Palace of Pardo, which is a real-life historical building which still exists so far in Spain, Europe. The reason why I do this is because I really find interesting history, and in this case, architecture history. By making these things in Minecraft, I do not only make, I think, interesting YouTube content to you all, but also at the same time I can learn about this sort of architecture history. Before going on with this episode, which is the 10th of this series, I would like to change the view mode. So wait a second please. Alright, so now with this view mode I can explain in a better way what I want to show you all now. As I have said, this is my personal attempt of building the Royal Palace of Pardo in Minecraft. The last episode I made a video in which I record myself talking about the way of building this building in Minecraft. I talk about columns and column joints, which will be part and will be features of this building process. And for this episode some of these have been built by me. For example, this is what the main facade of the palace in Minecraft will be. It is from that corner to the other corner. One of the things which provides me, or which lets me have by building this in these columns, for example, this is a column in this game and column joints as this one, is to give me an idea of how tall this palace will be, at least in this part, because as maybe you have already watched in previous episodes of this series, the towers of this palace will have four floors, but the rest of the palace will only have two. So by doing these joint columns, because this is a column and that is the other column, so this is the joint, I can have an idea of how tall this palace will be in this part. It will only have two floors, as I have already said. Another detail or feature of this facade, or this facade project, facade project, is that there is a part of the facade which overcomes, I think that's the correct word, overcomes the normal or typical facade. For example, there is a difference of 5 Minecraft blocks, and this feature is part of the architecture style of this palace, which I'll try to recreate in this game. This special part, which will also has these two floors. Another thing that I mentioned is that this way of building of columns and column joints gives me a preview of how the inner spaces will be. For example, this room is called the facade, or no, not a facade. It's not el zaguán, which is a Spanish language term, and which I don't know its equivalent in English language. So that's why I use it in Spanish language term. I use this Spanish language term. So this zaguán, which is a space which links the outside part of the palace and the inner part, is going to be with this preview in this way. For example, with this preview I can know how tall this room will be. Wait a second please. How long will be this room in both sizes, in this one and this one. And I also can know how the room in the upper side of this ELSA 1 will be. This will be the second floor. So this is the way of building of mine and how I will be building in Minecraft all the rest of the palace. You also may see that the columns in this part of the palace, it's very how you call it, wide. The columns are 2 blocks per 2 blocks, and actually it repeats also in the corners. For example, that happens also in the columns of this corner of the palace, and also in the columns which it's part of the facade. What will happen next is that I will keep building the how do you call this, the columns in the inner part of the palace. For example, the columns will be located especially or particularly in the corners of each room. For example, here's according to the foundation, there's a room here, so I will build a column over here, and there will be another column over here, and so on. And then the columns will be joined, as you may see it happens as this one. So, well, this is going to take a little, it's going to take some time before finishing all the columns and column joints of this palace. But I find this very interesting and appealing, because that's part of building Minecraft. It takes time, but the result might be very wonderful and very interesting. Well, after having said this, I would say that this is all for this episode. I hope that you find this wait a second. I hope that you find this video very interesting, and of course I will leave the link of the series in the description of this video in order to let you understand the context of this building process. I would like to thank people of Spanish, not English speaking, or people who speaks English language. This video and this video series have their Spanish language version in this YouTube channel of mine, so that's why you may find these videos in Spanish language. I also make these videos in English language because I could get to a wider international public. My mother tongue is Spanish language, so I hope that my English language skills are enough to be understood by you all. And without anything else to say, now I would say goodbye. Thank you very much for your interest in this series on my YouTube channel. I hope that you have a good day, and goodbye.